Um, this is a good setup because I can always peek and see the chat. Hey, Don, good to see you. I am live. My Twitch was glitching too, actually. This is part 3. And since you're here, I'm so glad because I can kind of show I'm live. I was just showing my setup here, my workbench, and how, because not a lot of people know about this hobby. Even on Twitch, when I was looking around, not many people had, or I didn't see anyone doing scale modeling. So this is how, the pieces look like. And when they come out, and I've already painted a little bit of these. And yeah, Twitch glitching I realized happens often on the phone. Yay, more viewers. Yeah, here's my setup, and I'll show myself for now. And so, excuse me, I've decided to paint in 3 colors, because I was looking at reference pics for F-18s, and I'm painting specifically, and I'll show the manual, because the manual looks really cool. So this is the manual, right here. And yeah, painting this and the dials here, but I try and make these realistic. So I'm gonna be, and I'll zoom in kind of close. There you can see the dials. I'm gonna be painting some white. And honestly, I might use toothpicks to paint because that works. So I'm gonna be doing white, gray, and red. But I'm gonna be doing the gray first and then spraying. And I have a bunch of kind of useful, this is an old dresser, a bunch of useful, Don, I'm just wondering if Twitch is still glitching for you. Probably not, because you got in. I have a bunch of spray paints here, but I actually invested in an airbrush. Nice. Good to hear it's working fine for you. And the airbrush is awesome. And I was just saying I haven't decided if I'm gonna airbrush on stream because the airbrush itself isn't so loud, but the compressor is loud. And I would imagine it might get kind of annoying, but don't worry, I'm not doing that today. Although I might mute myself when I do this, because it would be, yeah, I can mute my microphone, totally fine. I'm not airbrushing today, I'm just doing some gray, and I'm gonna open this up. I have, actually, I am gonna set my phone down when I begin painting, but I have some gloves, a box of gloves, and here's actually my mask for spray painting and airbrushing, because the paints do smell, they have fumes, and they're not good for you. They are toxic, but look, like nothing's gonna happen if you're exposed every now and then, but if you do this regularly, it's definitely a good idea to use the paint booth and the gas mask. This isn't just like a normal face mask like we are so used to wearing these days because of COVID, but a gas mask for organic vapors. And I don't need to do that today because I am just brush painting a little bit, but I'm gonna set this down now, and use this cloth to kind of steady my phone as well. And I'm gonna set it down like this so you can see the paint area. And I'll peek every now and then. This is the fuselage, and maybe yeah, that's a good angle. Wonder if I should do that. No, I should. So this is, yeah, kind of angle it this way. And Don, how's your day going, by the way? It's good to see you again on my streams. I'm so glad that at least someone is viewing, because I do like to engage with my audience and talk to them. The activity is kind of just, whether it's a game or something, it's kind of really, for me, the foreground is my audience or being part of an audience. Nice, good to hear. Yeah, it's going fine for me as well. So here I go. Here I have my gloves on. And by the way, I'm wearing just a cheap shirt, but ironically, it says I built this, and I am doing scale modeling and building. So this Vallejo paint is, normally I dilute. I dilute with different thinners. So I have acrylic. Oh, that's really blurry. It's out of focus. Let me do this, angle it more upwards. I have acrylic paint thinner, and I have and by the way, Don, you should try streaming too. I definitely would watch. I definitely would watch if you stream. And I have the paint here, and I'm just gonna acrylic. So with these, you don't want to dilute too much with Vallejo paints. They're very good quality paints, and they're more or less pre-diluted, but some help. Some people have recommended even diluting with water. And I already have these things that make it easy to kind of squeeze out thinner into, and I'll kind of show here. But I forget which one's which. I think I have them color coded. I forget which one is acrylic. Let me see. What I'm gonna do for now, because I don't need so much, I think, and I can actually smell that a little bit because a lot of these things do have fumes of some sort. So I believe this is the acrylic one right here. Just download it on my phone. We'll give it a shot. Yeah, definitely give it a shot, Don. The phone is actually the easiest way to do it. With the computer, it's a little harder. And you have to like, I'm just angling my phone a little bit. I actually want it higher. There we go. Perfect. And yeah, hands in this area, so I have the perfect angle. The phone's the easiest way to stream. The computer's a little harder. If you do decide to try it on your computer, I recommend Twitch Studio. That's the best way. Let me just open up my chat too. Anyways, so I'm gonna get one of these painting cups that I have here. Sneaky Pigeon, welcome. Yeah, tripod is a good idea, and honestly, I'll show you what I have. Yeah, tripod would be perfect because I also stream cooking. I'm very new to Twitch, so I've been using, when I do in real life streams, I've been using props to kind of put things up, but for sure a tripod would be helpful. So I'm kind of just propping up my phone here. But actually, and for reference, I'm building this F-18, and I'm just painting the control panel of the seats in the cockpit. And in the next couple days, I'm gonna be kind of polishing it off, or not polishing it off, adding tripod would be helpful. It's because I have this cloth as well as a stabilizer. This should work. And yeah, so some of this Vallejo paint, I think honestly that's on my to buy list, a tripod for like this week or in the next few days, sometime this week. And yeah, headcam too, but actually I've seen like tripods, and I'm just gonna multitask with this. I've seen tripods for like $30. on Amazon for like iPhone tripods. And I'm gonna give that a go. Headcam for this kind of hobby would be ideal, but I'll see. I'm working my way up. I'm starting off slow, and yeah. So I have some Vallejo paint here, acrylic paint, and with for those not in the know, Vallejo paints don't really have to be diluted too much, and I have some toothpicks. I'll kind of angle this up a little bit. So put some in. I really don't need much. I'm adding kind of painting these controls right here. Yeah. Why don't I show my pieces that I am painting close up before I begin? And then, yeah, so as you can see, whoops, that's me. As you can see, these pieces have a bunch of parts, same thing. Have a bunch of, trying to get the right angle, have a bunch of buttons on the side. And I was looking at references online for what I should buy. Sorry, I'm mixing up my thoughts. For what kind of colors they have in white, gray, and red. And I have red here. And gray and white in my drawer. I have a drawer with a bunch of paints here. But I'm going to paint gray first and then clear coat and then paint the white and red. Sneaky Pigeon, if you're still there, is this, because I love engaging with my audience. Do you build scale models of your own, or is this just a stream that you kind of coincidentally happen to stumble upon? Just getting my toothpicks out here. And, yeah. I was just wondering if you build scale models of your own. Yeah, I do build scale models. I'm here from Dom's. Oh, awesome. Thanks so much for coming. Yeah, I'm glad I am getting, I think people I'm not so big on the Discord channel just because I build models very periodically. Like I built so you know about like Vallejo and paints. I don't really have to explain this stuff then. But with Vallejo, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if you use Vallejo paints, you don't need to dilute too much. And in fact, the reason I'm using this Vallejo is just I like the color of this gray. And I might honestly be painting with and I'll angle it this way. Yeah. I might be painting with important thing is not to paint my iPhone accidentally. I might just be using my toothpick, and I'll kind of test on a dummy piece here. Or I'll test on this popsicle stick. By the way, popsicle sticks, phenomenal idea that I found somewhere online for putting blue tack on your pieces to use them as a stand, or to hold them up on a stand. Makes painting a lot easier, especially spray painting and airbrushing. But let me just actually use another one of these to kind of dab a few dots. I think this needs to be diluted a bit more. I'll use a paintbrush to kind of test because it's way too thick. Sneaky Pigeon, what kinds of models do you like to build? I typically just use their special airbrush paint. Yeah, because that is thin. Yeah, it is. But I've been told that it's thin perfectly by some, and I've been told that it's not thin enough by others. And just with the consistency of my brush, from my brush, I could just tell immediately that it's kind of too thick. This seems a bit better now. And I do need something a little thicker, so I'm gonna add a few drops of paint back because I am I need these to kind of stick on. Normally, I really love enamels. I'm hardcore big on enamels for airbrushing and brush and like hand brushing. Um, but it's just this color seemed to be the ideal color, and I didn't want to mix colors. So what I'm doing now is I'm just yeah, I really do need a tripod. I'm kind of just diluting, finding a good consistency, and I'm gonna use the toothpick method to paint these dials. I do have a Warhammer brush, and I could use that. Yeah, it's a bunch of testers. I'm actually big on testers. Their paints, their enamel paints, I find are solid. Um, and especially their Model Master series. Now, I'm not a big fan of testers for everything, but for some of the stuff, like their paints, enamel paints, I think they do a solid job. And I dilute like 50-50. Yeah, okay, so I have a good consistency now. And I'm not gonna be on for too long because I'm just doing a few dabs here. Yeah. Maybe the Warhammer. Maybe I should use actually. I am gonna do this with. I have one of these Warhammer brushes. I use only acrylics, and I'm not a fan of testers. Yeah, that's fair. That's a very common consensus. Um, Acrylics are safer, and they can be easier to work with. But and if you clear coat, and I do clear coat. I don't know if you do. Acrylics, it doesn't really matter that they're not as like strong. They don't stick on as strong as enamels. But I kind of, when I was a kid, I built a couple scale models, and I used enamels, and I kind of just decided to go with the enamel route. I still have a bunch of acrylics. Bring some out. A bunch of Tamiya acrylics, and not a bunch, but a solid amount. Here's an olive Tamiya. Oops. Yeah, there I go again. I'm kind of doing bird's eye view. I've started painting this panel, but for about a year the paint hardens and can't be used. Is that for testers or for acrylics or enamels? This is an olive enamel, and I'll show you my drawer with a bunch of paints here, and I have an airbrush in this drawer. Yeah, Tamiya is awesome. I wholeheartedly agree. In fact, before I got an airbrush, I used spray cans for painting, and their spray cans. Yeah, I've never really used testers acrylics. I've only used them for their enamels. But Tamiya is just solid with everything. I have a bunch of Tamiya products. Love Tamiya. And I've decided, by the way, to use my Warhammer thin brush because it will make my life. The toothpick works well. It's thin enough that you get accurate results, but eventually the paint kind of collects in this as a fat drop on the bottom, whereas with a brush you can kind of just wipe off any excess paint on the side of your painting cup or tray, and kind of wipe on paper to just get a minimal amount. I'm gonna do a couple dials here. And I wish my hands are all shaky right now, so it's not an ideal I'd zeal them, and I'll show in a minute what I've done. Yeah, the Warhammer brush is really nice for painting these dials. And there's a lot, when it comes to these dials and knobs, there's a lot more white. So I'm just doing a few gray ones. And, yeah, if you can see that, I've painted on some, and I'll do like a bird's eye view. One thing I don't miss from building aircraft is the small dials. Yeah, it is fun. It is fun. And as I was saying, I went online to see some references. And in fact, the manual doesn't indicate anything for this piece. And the dashboard that I have here, it just said white. So I'm trying to be a little more realistic than that. The key thing is just going very slowly and being patient. Excuse me. And I'm just trying to kind of sporadically add. Not sporadically, but kind of randomly add a few dials on the left, a few on the right. I kind of overpainted, but I can correct. I can repaint in black a little bit. You know, with dials, it's one of the things that you kind of want to get perfect, but it's okay if it's not perfect because, you know, pilots, they have coffee spills. I've heard, like, you know, pilots do drink coffee. They do need beverages when they're flying. And, yeah. By the way, Sneaky Pigeon, how do you like Dom's scale modeling Discord? I like it a lot, but I'm just not on a lot because I do scale model builds very periodically, like on and off. And I can go 2 months not doing anything. But I'm trying to make it more consistent. And actually, I've realized it's a lot more fun if someone else is there with you, even if virtually online. Dial here, and maybe a couple more on the right side. I joined only a few days ago. Oh, okay, so welcome to both my stream and, you know, the Discord. It's a nice Discord. It's a lot better than Reddit. I used to, like, post stuff on Reddit, but, you know, there's always a bunch of people on Dom Scale Modeling Club or channel or whatever it is, server. So I'll show a bird's eye view in a second. And some of the dials came out very nicely. Some a little sloppy. Oops, that's me. Right here. And with the sloppy ones, I'll repaint in black just a little bit probably before I clear coat this. But, you know, it adds a touch of realism. So, this one right here, it's actually 3, but I went kind of beyond the lines. But what do you think overall? Like, enough gray or add a little more? I'm trying to not overpopulate it with gray and add more white. So I think this will do. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that, Sneaky Pigeon. But I think this will do overall with the gray. I don't want too much. I'm looking to add a lot more white and then a few red. And for this one, I might whatchamacallit? I might just do literally like a couple. Maybe one on the bottom and one on the right. Yeah, towards like center right. That's what I'll do probably. I wonder if if I do this, you know what? I think I figured out a solution. I think if I'm extremely careful and just hope my iPhone doesn't fall, I can do a bird's eye view. Yeah, how about that? I just have to be very careful. But is this better as a view? I like the amount of gray. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think it's a good amount. But what do you think of this view? I kind of literally am balancing my phone on this and reading upside down on my paint thinner um, jug of paint thinner. Yeah, okay, we'll do this, and I will get a tripod soon. By the way, Sneaky Pigeon, I also stream games, so I've been streaming a flight simulator game a few times this past week, and I also do cooking streams. And it's a game that I recommend for anyone who likes aircrafts or flight simulators. It's a mobile flight simulator game called Airline Commander. And it's been really fun because I don't have a gaming PC yet. I have a PS4. I'll do a little room tour. Not a full room tour, but well, why not full room tour? I'll just kind of spin around. And another hobby, hydroponics. I'm building a hydroponic garden, or going to have. Sorry, It's a hydroponic PVC kit. What am I saying? I'm thinking of putting it in my backyard / garden. And this is really cool. I have a general manager at work, a former boss who gives me a lot of advice. He's into gardening, and yeah, my TV, and I do hope to stream from my PS4 and Nintendo Switch soon. And Apple TV was a recent gift to myself, a Switch amiibo. I don't know if you games. Yeah, it is. Thank you. And kind of just my neighbors across the yard and my bed. It's a little messy. It's actually not too messy. It's cluttered. I have a couch / pull-out bed that kind of folds, and I had a friend over from New York who crashed during the weekend. Still haven't cleaned up. And yeah, so mini room tour with a bunch of books and actually a different hydroponic garden right there. Yeah, but I do stream games, and I might stream a flight on Airline Commander soon after this. So if you're bored and want to join or want to look at some of my old stuff, I do stream there. And I'm gonna flip this back to this view. Where's my chat? By the way, Sneaky Pigeon, speaking of, since I'm brushing and that's brush painting, do you ever use this method where if you're painting dials? Because it does work, but you just have to constantly watch the end of your toothpick to kind of paint. I have to go. Totally fine. But if streaming when I get back, I'll definitely pop in. Awesome. I will probably be streaming Flight Commander. So it would probably in half an hour, 45 minutes from now. So it would be awesome to see you again. Thank you so much for stopping by. It really means a lot. One dial here, and then one dial. That's kind of messy, but I'm gonna fill it in black anyway. Maybe one more. Yeah, the circles are kind of harder. The open circles, because the paint kind of seeps in. The flight sim sounds interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. And I'll be streaming some. I've had some viewers come in, and I've had a bunch of people watch later. And if you're still here, I don't know if you left, but I also play some electronic music or some chill music in the background and just kind of hang and chill and talk to my viewers. So it should be a good time. This dial. And yeah, I mean, I think that's it for now. I've kind of painted these dials and I'm all set. Don, I don't know if you're still here, but thanks for joining if you joined. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm actually tuning out. I'm tuning out myself. I'm ending the stream. Thanks so much for coming. It was great having you. And yeah, I do encourage you to stream yourself. I'll definitely love to tune into your stream. Take care. Bye bye.